unless Congress acts by December 31st, unemployment benefits that were extended during the pandemic will come to an end. A recent Pew Research Center study found that 1 in 6 Americans have had to borrow money from a family member or turn to a food bank service since the pandemic began. It was also revealed that 25% of folks say that someone in their household lost their job or was temporarily laid off because of pandemic forced closures. Our local charities like the Salvation Army are bracing for an increase in the number of those people who've lost their unemployment and come to them asking for help.
This is a very hard time, especially for Thanksgiving, to be thinking that many people, friends of ours, are people that, we would never receive services from a social service agency this year may find themselves in need.
According to the Century Foundation, a nonprofit public policy research institution, at least 10 million people will be losing unemployment benefits. The Salvation Army and other charities have various programs to help folks hit hard by the pandemic. For information on how you can apply, you can visit our website, KIIITV.com.